The following is a rebroadcast of Newswatch 16 update, recorded earlier for playback at this time.
Proud to serve Northeastern and Central Pennsylvania, this is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark with his backyard forecast, and Joe Zone on sports. This is the Newswatch 16 update.
Good evening. I'm Nolan Johannes. Karen Harch has the night off. A crucial step in the billion-dollar cleanup of the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant is going very slowly tonight. Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini is at the plant and has sent us this late report.
Damaged reactor to eventually see what's inside, but it isn't a simple process. These closed-circuit pictures from sometime late this evening show workers inside the reactor building. They're making stress tests on 3 cables from a crane above that will eventually lift the 156-ton cap. The cables must pull equally, and workers slowly adjust the tension on the lines.
As soon as all of them are level, such that there is no differential between the 3 of them, they will then proceed to the next step.
That next step is pulling up on the reactor cap with enough force to move it. But as the evening wears on, the crew inside the reactor building is replaced.
No problems. They all feel relaxed. They don't feel overstressed or tired or fatigued. But they're, the time duration in the building, has been about 2.5 hours for that crew, and so they will be bringing them out.
Officials say the cap will be lifted a fraction of an inch, and if all goes well, an inch, then eventually to 3 feet. Removing the reactor cap is the first step in a long process of making this plant safe again. In fact, it'll be another year before any of the radioactive components inside the reactor can be removed. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, 3 Mile Island.
Newswatch 16 started early this morning to cover the TMI cleanup story. Reporter Valerie DeVine was there and tells us just what kind of a day it was and what was supposed to have happened by 9:30 this morning.
This is what the inside of the Unit 2 reactor at 3 Mile Island looks like. That's what technicians saw earlier today while trying to lift off the unit's reactor head. It's a complicated problem with some underlying risks.
The worst thing that would happen, it would shake the core itself, putting it into a new configuration within the reactor vessel.
GPU Nuclear had its share of problems with the lift today, especially with a small video camera on top of the polar crane used to lift the reactor head. But around 5:30 this afternoon, technicians entered the reactor building, leaving GPU officials breathing a sigh of relief. But although they were concerned with today's share of delays and malfunctions, they don't feel it will hurt their credibility.
I think the people in this area and the people in the company can be encouraged and be heartened by this operation being carried out. It's a significant milestone. The defueling of the reactor.
Today's work didn't go by without one minor scare. GPU officials say one worker was slightly contaminated when he became overheated and took off his respirator. But GPU officials say that worker has been decontaminated and is doing just fine. Valerie DeVine, Newswatch 16, 3 Mile Island.
And this word just in from Night Beat reporter Bob Costantini in Middletown at the TMI plant. Workers tonight have now achieved their long-awaited milestone in the cleanup of the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. They have lifted the damaged reactor's 156-ton top that you saw in our video earlier for the first time now. Earlier in the day, as we said, one contaminated worker was decontaminated. He is all right. That steel top has been lifted 3 feet into the air tonight. Then the workers began to attach a plastic diaper underneath the suspended cap to prevent radioactive debris from falling. So we repeat, that cap has been lifted late tonight and is now 3 feet above the reactor. An analyst for the plant's operator said that the reactor vessel is basically uncapped right now. Our major step has been accomplished. Bob Costantini is there. We have a crew there, and we'll have more reports for you as this night progresses and on into the morning. In Roaring Brook Township tonight, the issue is expensive sewers or no federal money for them. Residents from 3 separate neighborhoods in the Lackawanna County Township heard officials say they must reconsider a sewage treatment plan that basically was turned down weeks ago as being too costly.
Amendments to this plan can be filed at a later date if in fact these subsequent studies or subsequent events indicate other alternatives should be considered.
But residents of 2 of the neighborhoods where sewer lines are already in with private sewage treatment says alternate, less expensive plans should be made for Roaring Brook Township.
Run a pipeline down into the Scranton Scranton Authority and save much money for the people.
But moments ago, town supervisors voted 2-1 to combine Roaring Brook Estate sewers with Olwen Heights, now on septic tanks, just as the state DER has requested the township to do. There's a need for money to fight crime, and it's up to the state and federal governments to come up with the cash. That was the message this morning to the chiefs of police from across the state meeting in Wilkes-Barre. The Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association is holding its annual convention, and Luzerne County District Attorney Robert Gillespie told the top cops crime may be down, but more money is needed to continue the fight.
This will be going forward to marketing. It is only because we have dedicated police officers who go out and work for comp time instead of overtime, that work in some municipalities 60-hour work weeks with no additional compensation, that we're able to do the job.
Newswatch 16's Mark Davis spent some time today in one Luzerne County community where more money for the police force would be a real help.
Laflin patrolman Frank Mudlock rides alone most of the time, but I rode along for a little bit to find out what it's like being a small-town policeman. Mudlock is the only full-time man on a 6-officer force. Laflin only has about 1,600 people, a small town with a small police budget, and that means giving the job extra time without pay.
What I have to do is give up a few extra time on call instead of working on the actual road. I might spend 2.5 hours extra a day being on call.
Laflin and Frank Mudlock aren't alone. There are many similar situations throughout our area. Long hours, small salaries, and lots of loyalty.
We're here mostly for dedication. We enjoy doing the job. That's why we're here. You know, the pay's not all that great in any town, I guess, in Luzerne County, small municipalities, that is. And it's just that we enjoy doing it. You know I do.
But with increased federal or state aid, that enjoyment would be increased, and borough officials agree it would certainly make the job a lot easier. Right now, the talk about added funding for small police forces is just that, talk. But after visiting the people here in Laflin, you find out that if that talk becomes reality, things could be a little bit better here and in many other communities in Luzerne County. Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, Laflin.
And stay with us. We'll have another candidate for the Update Video Zoo. But next, meteorologist Tom Clark out in his cage with the forecast.
Wagging my tail out there.
Yes.
Hey, it's cooling off nicely tonight.
All right.
Meet me out back, and I'll tell you if there's any more hot weather in sight.
You can help Jerry's kids, and Sam Falcone will tell you how.
Save all your aluminum cans for empty. The cans that you and I throw away every day can be recycled to help fight muscular dystrophy.
We are going to fill this trailer with millions of cans. You can drop them off at Falcone Beverage or bring them to Rocky Glen Park on Labor Day weekend. And then that way, you can help the children with muscular dystrophy.
Well, let's find out what it's like in the backyard right now and see how long nice weather will last. How about it, Tom?
Yeah. Sure was a nice day today.
Yes.
About 7 degrees cooler outside tonight at this time than it was last night. We have the stars out overhead, and let's take a look at those numbers as they stand. The temperature's now dropping down through the 70s in most places. In this backyard, it stands at about 71 degrees, and the humidity is dropping off at comfortable levels tonight. We have a very light breeze. I don't see much motion here in the branches. It's coming down from the northwest at about 5 miles per hour, and the barometer now is holding, well, it's rising still at 30.02 inches. Range in temperature today, well, we had a high of about 83, and the low so far is 71 degrees for the day. Hey, there's the airport up here in Avoca. Closed down at this hour. It's kind of quiet up there. The first flight out, I guess, is around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. But the beacon continues to spin. The Newswatch 16 color satellite photograph just in. Thunderstorms out in Iowa. One town in southwestern Iowa had 2.5 inches of rain in just about 45 minutes today. So they had some flooding out that way. Temperatures topped 100 today out in Oregon and Washington. There's a big bubble of hot air bulging northward up into Canada out that way, and that's helping to force cooler air down in the east. And so this jet stream pattern, like so, will probably hold together right through Saturday, so we should stay in the comfort zone the rest of this week with no hot weather in sight, at least through this coming weekend. Okay, here's my forecast for tonight. Well, for the rush hour tomorrow morning, a cool drive to work. You may want to use your sunglasses. It'll be a bright sun in the east, beautiful sky. 57 Montrose, Jessup 57. Up there in Mountaintop, 53 the low tonight. Hometown, New Berlin, Union County, and Williamsport, bottoming out in the mid to upper 50s tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, a very satisfying situation weather-wise. I hope you enjoy it. 77 Wysox, Hawley, Larksville, 78, Hazleton. A little bit cooler in the elevations there at 74. Sunbury and Lock Haven near 80 tomorrow. The northwest wind will continue out of Canada, bringing that cool air down. And the sunrise and sunset for tomorrow, well, it sets at about 8:28. Okay, the day's getting shorter. Hey, a clear night tonight, 58. Sunshine tomorrow, partly sunny on Thursday. And then heading into Friday, mostly cloudy, a couple of showers around. I don't think Friday's going to be all that great, near 77. But Saturday, a nice cool day with temperatures in the 70s. And a long-range computer forecast came out today, Nolan, for Monday through Friday of next week. And if it holds true, we may not see any more hot weather until the second week of August.
All right.
Things may stay kind of cool for a while.
All right, just keep the sun around, okay?
Keep the sun out.
With a little rain for the flowers and the gardens and the farmers' crops.
We're in good shape.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you.
Tim Karlson's coming up next on the update. Tonight, Terry Bradshaw says bye-bye to football and hello to broadcasting. He'll smile about that, plus a ton of baseball action, including the Jets on fire at Shea. Tim will have the action in the sports screen next.
Hello, I'm Jim Lampley with ABC Sports. This summer, the world will be watching the games of the 23rd Olympiad in Los Angeles. And ABC Sports will be there to bring you live, exclusive coverage of all the pageantry and competition as thousands of the world's greatest athletes go for the gold. Each weeknight during the games, Joe Zone will keep you up to date on Newswatch 16 at 6 and Newswatch 16 Update at midnight. For all the Olympic excitement, stay tuned to ABC Sports and WNEP TV, Channel 16.
Well, we tried last night to give you the Mets' final score, but it just didn't happen until after we got off the air, did it?
Not tonight, though, buddy.
Right?
We got it, I'll tell you. I'm going to get to it real quick because I don't want to miss any of it. I know you don't either. Guess where New Yorkers are going to see winning baseball? Well, it ain't the house that Ruth built, folks. At Shea Stadium. Check the crowd to see the Mets and the Cards. Bottom of the third inning, there it is. Kelvin Chapman with a double, and that scores Rafael Santana. It's 1-0 Mets. 2-0 now. Foster with a base hit scores Chapman, and the Mets are up 3-0 as Chapman goes in there. Now, top of the fourth, 3-2 Mets. David Green with a two-run shot to the opposite field, and suddenly it's 4-3 Cards. Now, the bottom of the fourth inning, Chapman with another single scores Bruce Bereni from second, and it's 5-4. The Mets are up, but the Cardinals' eighth inning with its 7-6 Mets, and it's goodbye. A pinch hit home run by Tito Landrum, and the Cards are up 8-7. Now to the Mets' eighth inning. Keith Hernandez with a base hit with 2 outs and 3-2. Scores Chapman. It's 8-8. Now the bottom of the 10th. Hernandez with another hit. Wilson comes around to score, and the Mets win it. 9-8. That's great baseball. All right, back at the vet. The Cubs and the Phils for second place. Let's take a look at it. 1-0 Cubs in the second. DeJesus with a base hit scores Von Hayes from second, and the Phils tie it up at 1-1. Now the Phils' fourth inning. Pitcher Jerry Koosman with a base hit up the middle, and that scores Glenn Wilson, and it's 2-1 Phils. Now the Cubs' fifth, former Phil Gary Matthews scores another former Phil, Ryan Sandberg, and that ties the game up at 2-2. We go to the Phils' seventh inning now. This is Lenny Matuszak off the DL with a pinch hit homer, a solo shot. It's 3-2, and the Phils win it 3-2 over the Cubs. All right, the NL scoreboard. Let's check it out. Phils 3, Cubs 2. Mets over St. Louis, second night in a row in extra innings, 9-8. Pittsburgh, Montreal tied up 4-4 in the 10th. Atlanta, L.A., no score in the first. Cincinnati 2, San Diego nothing in the third. Houston, San Francisco scoreless in the first. In the AL now, let's check out the American League scoreboard. Yankees and Milwaukee 1-1 in the 8th. Detroit wins game 67. They over Cleveland 9-5. They're incredible. Kansas City over Toronto 5-4 in the 7th. Texas leads Baltimore 3-2 in the 6th. Boston beat Chicago 3-2. In the 9th inning now, Minnesota 6, Oakland 3, Seattle, California, no score in the 1st. There's something you're not going to see anymore. Right there. Terry Bradshaw, number 12, leading the plays for the Steelers. Terry retired today, and of course to become a TV commentator. Sure, take our jobs, okay? He announced the retirement today in New York, saying that bad shoulder he's had for the past couple of years was the cause. Bradshaw played 14 years for Pittsburgh, led him to 4 Super Bowl titles. He leaves the game 9th in the all-time TD pass list and holding the career record for most yards passing in the Super Bowl, 932. Okay, quick reminder to catch a great show with young people from right here in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This stars they are of the show of the Olympic Dream. That's this Thursday, 7:30 here on 16. You'll find out all about 3 great athletes who will represent the U.S. at L.A. and make us proud to say they're from here. The Olympic Dream Thursday at 7:30. That's going to be some special. Okay, we're going to have to go to Pocono Downs real quick. Let's run the numbers up on the board there. Daily double, 3 and 1, $19. Fourth race triple, 376, $760.20. That's it. We're out of time, Nolan. I'll catch you tomorrow at 6 for Joe.
Okay, Tim. Good job. Thanks a lot.
All right.
See you tomorrow. Stick with us. The Update Video Zoo will be taking us to San Francisco for the tale of hay fever, the parrot. Finally tonight, in the best tradition almost of our Newswatch 16 Update Video Zoo, the story of Hay Fever, who is back home tonight. Hay Fever is a parrot. His owner lost him in San Francisco at the Fisherman's Wharf last Thursday. He just flew away from Pier 47, and it was quite a loss after all. Hay Fever can sing. He can sing San Francisco, Here I Come, Tiny Bubbles, and How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Hay Fever's owner placed an ad in the newspaper describing his many singing talents, and 3 days later a phone call came in. If you want your bird, come now, because my parents are falling in love with it. The bird had climbed on a stranger's arm, it seems, and rode home with him and charmed the family, singing all the way. Hay Fever's owner is out $150 tonight. That's the reward for finding him, but his heart and his feathers are back in San Francisco's Pier 47. And that's Newswatch 16 Update for this Tuesday. For the entire team, including Karen, who is off tonight, I'm Nolan Johannes. Have a good night.